In this video, let's talk about boundaries. That's right, loving limits. What are healthy boundaries? Why do we need them? And how is it important on your sober-minded journey? I don't know about y'all. Tell me in the comments below. I always, early on, thought boundaries were like, boom, I'm putting up a boundary. Like it was a big wall or like a, like this big, like you can't get to me now. I've got a boundary. When really what I've learned is that boundaries are more like gates or like fences. They can be even low enough to see over, like, hi neighbor, you're there, I'm here. This is the property line. This is where I end and you begin. And that's a much healthier way to look at boundaries as just a way to identify what's non-negotiable to you, who are you, and then what is someone else's choice. I think sometimes boundaries get a bad rap. In fact, I've got some sisters that like to call them, rather than boundaries, loving limits. And I like that word too, or that definition as well. I think it's all about realizing that with boundaries, you're not trying to control other people. Now that's good because we can't. Trust me. I've been married long enough. I've been a mom long enough to know that we can't change people or control people. And that's a good thing because I don't want to be controlled and I don't want anybody to try to change me, right? Do you feel that same way? So I think when you're talking about boundaries, it's more about what you want to do, what is okay with you. If you're new to this sober-minded journey, it's kind of nice to come in and go, okay, what are my non-negotiables, or what can I do to retain? I did a lot of social drinking during the holidays because of anxiety and poor boundaries on my part. I'm not blaming anyone. I just had some really poor boundaries because I didn't know where I ended and someone else began. I just merged with the people around me and kind of did what they were doing and was really into people pleasing. And that really left me in a tough spot because I was doing things that didn't align with me as far as even my drinking choices, or I was trying to drink less or not at all, but then I would get in a heavy drinking environment and my internal boundaries would literally like fly out the window. It was kind of bizarre because I would think to myself, well, that's weird, Jen. You've got good boundaries during the week, but why do you lose them on the weekend? Or, you've got decent boundaries one-on-one, but why do you lose them in a group? And it's because I didn't always know how to say what it is I needed, what I wanted, or just make choices that were best for me and not really worry about how that landed on other people. And what I've come to find and discover is that people really don't care if I'm drinking. In fact, they would rather me be true to myself, just like I want them to be true to themselves. They'd rather me be true to myself than check out at the door who I am and just blend in with everybody else. When my boundaries were low and unhealthy and unregulated, and my anxiety was spiking and I was uneasy with myself, boy, you think when someone offered me a drink, I didn't almost just grab it out of their hand? I was like, yo, yes, give it to me, stat. Because I saw it as an equalizer of like all of my feelings. It just felt in the moment easier than, protecting my sober mind. But that is what we've got to do. And again, I think the more real you are with the people around you, whether that's your family or people you're traveling with, honestly, y'all, I think people, you tell me, I think people actually appreciate that because they want the freedom to be themselves as well. I think when we're posturing and performing to be somebody we're not, it doesn't really work anyway. It's not like that's a real win. It's like that's not working anyway. So I think when we show up ourselves, then we're going to get a lot further. Letting down our boundaries is almost like letting ourselves down, because boundaries are actually a huge act of self-care. And I don't think it's selfish to have boundaries. And I think sometimes the word self-care gets a bad rap out there too. But the key thing about boundaries is it's not stonewalling someone. It's not putting up a boundary and then walking away and never revisiting the topic or going there with that person. It's saying, here's a boundary. I can't talk, or I can't talk about that right now, or I can't do that right now, but it's up to me. Boundaries protect our sober mind. They honor our sober mind. And I know for me, when I first got on this non-drinking train that I'm on right now and plan to be on for as long as I can see, it is important that I do what I need to do to protect my sober mind. If that means going early and leaving early to an event, I'll do it. Hey, if that means you're fairly new to your sober-minded journey and you don't want to go to that party this weekend where you know it's just going to be a drink fest, guess what, friend? You don't have to go. You do not have to go. Part of boundaries, especially healthy internal boundaries, are knowing your limits and knowing what is going to tip you over the edge. You can't get there and then play it by ear and see how you feel. Because how you feel is going to be pretty much the vibe of what you're in, unless you've already pre-decided. And then after you've pre-decided, you've got to pre-plan. A big part of that is having those boundaries in place so that you're like, I'm not going to drink when I get there. Here's what I'm going to drink. And if it gets out of hand, or I've hit the 2-hour mark and people are starting to, slur their speech, get glassy-eyed, you can tell the conversations are waning at best. They're dwindling in quality. Head out of there. You can leave. That's a good internal boundary to say, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to see. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do dance. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to be me. I'm going to have fun. And then when it's time to go, I'm going to go. And you can predetermine when that is for you, whether that's a time or when it hits a level. You know what I'm talking about? When it hits a level where it's like people are gone. You can be gone too. You can go home and you can, take a bath or read a book or get back to that Netflix show. Whatever it is for you, you don't have to stay. And that's part of the healthy boundaries. Oh my gosh, y'all, there is so much more I could say about this. I talk about it in my 21-day reset challenge. You can certainly sign up to join right now. Go to sobersis.com/21-day challenge.